Now it's my great privilege to welcome our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Lamar Hasbrouck. Dr. Hasbrouck is, as he describes himself, a passionate visionary, whose approach to life has taken him from inner-city poverty to the highest levels of his profession. An experienced public health leader, he has consulted on health matters around the world, including South America, Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean. Dr. Hasbrouck is currently the Executive Director for the National Association of County and City Health Officials, fondly known as NACCHO, or maybe to students NACCHO, I'm not sure, which represents the nation's 2,800 local government health departments. NACCHO's mission is to be a leader, partner, catalyst, and voice with local health departments working toward a vision of health, equity, and security for all people in their communities. Formerly, Dr. Hasbrouck served as Director of the Illinois Department of Public Health, an agency responsible for protecting the health and improving the lives of the state's 13 million residents. During his tenure, he championed population health innovations, repositioned the state's maternal and child health program, reinvigorated key strategic partnerships. He was one of the architects and spokespersons for healthcare reform in Illinois and led efforts to produce statewide blueprints for health workforce development and population health integration. He received his BA and MPH at the University of California, Berkeley, his MD from the UCLA School of Medicine, and completed his residency training in internal medicine at the New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lamar Hasbrouck.
Thank you. To Chancellor Emeritus, to my colleague and friend, Dean Brent Ralph, the distinguished faculty and alumni, special guests, parents, family, friends, and most importantly to this gifted, purpose-driven class of 2015, greetings and good afternoon. You know, a few years ago, each of you entered this program with your own lens on health. Some of you embarked on this journey as aspiring policymakers, some as administrators or community advocates, others as budding researchers or disease detectives in search of the next great discovery, or simply the next evidence-based or promising practice. Fueled almost entirely by your commitment to someday change the world for the better, you have mastered not only the academic rigors of this program, but you have successfully navigated the social and professional environment of the university as well. Indeed and in fact, you have done everything that we have asked you to do. So finally this afternoon, we say to each of you, you have met the mark. And I want you to know this afternoon that it could not have come at a more remarkable time in history. Because today, in addition to the historical partners like government and academics and foundations, there is a growing number of non-traditional businesses investing in the enterprise of health consumerism, customized healthcare, and indeed, population health. In recent years, I have met with companies like Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Walgreens, almost as often as I've met with health plans and pharma and healthcare providers. So I can report firsthand that there is an unprecedented appreciation for the art, science, and practice of public health. Graduates, you are so lucky to have gained the tools that this training here at UIC School of Public Health has given you. You are fortunate to have earned a bachelor's degree or a graduate degree that is in demand and one that will only increase with value during this dynamic period of healthcare transformation, population health innovation, and what I deem a public health renaissance. I know how lucky I personally feel that a school of public health on the West Coast took a chance on me, a kid from G Street and the first in my family to graduate college. See, exactly 25 years ago, I sat in a place just like this one, still recovering from the all-nighter that I spent to finish my thesis. And I thought to myself as I sat in your seat, I'm about to walk across this stage and receive a graduate degree, a Master of Public Health. I could barely believe my good fortune. And if not for my campaign, I thought, I wouldn't even be sitting here. You see, growing up, my whole entire world, about 5 square miles, was geographically bounded by 2 public elementary schools, a satellite welfare office, a small grocery store that stocked bad meat, and Sally's candy store. That was my entire world, and that's all that I knew. It was a place where single-parent households supported by food stamps and public aid were common, and where children could only hope to survive their next asthma exacerbation or make it home safely from school without falling victim to neighborhood violence. It was not the kind of place that produced college graduates or professionals of any kind. Yet somehow it produced me. And as luck would have it, I stumbled across the MPH program during my senior year in college. It was lousy timing. I was lacking focus, and I had amassed a lukewarm academic record as a student athlete, which didn't make me the most competitive student, at least not on paper. But once I discovered the School of Public Health, I was convinced that it could provide me with the kind of education and opportunity that I needed. And at that juncture, I reflected on the deficits in my neighborhood growing up, and I wondered just how many other children depended on the Crest Dental program with its free toothbrushes and free toothpaste as their only passable dental plan. And I wondered how many other families used the urgent care, or worse yet, the emergency department as their temporary health home. And then I wondered, what about all those Medicaid-eligible mothers like my mother who would rather miss their prenatal visits than to subject themselves to the indignity and condescending ridicule from the staff at the free clinic? I could help to right these injustices, I thought, if only I had the tools, if only I had the education. So I embarked on a sort of a campaign to sell myself along with my dream. And I scheduled personal meetings with every senior faculty member in the department. I had to somehow convince them and convince the school that where I lacked planning and preparation, I made up for with a burning passion. I'd get my MPH, I'd go into medical school, and then I'd do my part to heal the world. Well, it worked. I was accepted coursework only at first, and then 2 years later, I was sitting exactly where you are now. And as I sat in your seat during commencement, I felt, as perhaps some of you do, more blessed than accomplished. But what I didn't fully appreciate at that time was just the magnitude of how fortunate I was. See, the School of Public Health was literally my gateway to realize experiences far beyond my wildest imaginings. As I sat where you sit, I could never have imagined, for example, that just 1 year after that, I would lead a team to Mutare, Zimbabwe, as a first-year medical student on a mission. Or that I would someday be engaged in 2 of the largest global public health initiatives in the world: polio eradication and the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS relief, or that I would be a consultant for the World Health Organization. I would have never dreamed, as I sat where you sit now, that I would someday become the CDC country director and serve in a U.S. diplomatic assignment to South America. And I would have never imagined that I would someday be appointed the top health official for the nation's 5th largest state, and then go on to lead a trade organization representing the nation's 2,800 local health departments responsible for serving 200 million Americans. Or for that matter, that I'd be standing right here sharing my story with you. My point is this: as you sit here today, graduates, you can't always envision where your education in public health will take you. No one can. But know that you have been well prepared for whatever your journey will be. And as you set forward to achieve the mission of today's commencement beyond the boundaries of this university village, I want to offer you a few pearls of wisdom, something that I call the 4 B's. Number 1, be you. There's excellence in diversity, diversity of ideas, diversity of life stories. Bring all that you are, all of your experiences, all of your unique style and aesthetic to our profession. Remember that your worst you is far better than your best imitation of someone else, so be you. Number 2, be passionate. Anything worth pursuing is worth pursuing with boundless enthusiasm. Your passion is the engine that will drive you towards your goal when you're exhausted, when things look bleak, and when you're unappreciated, and you will be unappreciated. So remember, keep your passion. B number 3, be audacious. Never limit yourself to those things that are easily obtainable. Think big. Set the bar high regardless of what you hope to do. You'll be doubted, you'll be criticized, but trailblazers are always criticized. So be audacious. And number 4, and perhaps most importantly, I want to encourage you to be humble. Because while today is about recognizing your achievement, in many of the most important ways, it's not really about you. It's about all those people and all those communities out there that will depend upon you, that they might yet survive to realize their human potential. So your legacy will be measured not by the number of publications you have, not by the salary you make, not by the title that you earn. The full measure of your legacy will be the number of lives you help to improve during your journey. If I have been fruitful in my career and successful as a person, it's only because I followed these 4 basic principles. It may come as no surprise to you that I have never finished at the top of any class, that I've never earned the title best or brightest, but I have consistently made an effort to leverage my education and my talents to continually grow my competencies and to align my efforts with something far, far bigger than myself. And in this way, I have attempted and continue to strive to be my best and my brightest. And that is the kind of success that I wish for each of you. And as you continue to grow as a professional, ignited by your passion and guided by your purpose, I encourage each of you to reflect on these principles as a kind of a litmus test for your choices and your decisions going forward. And while the practice of public health may not make you rich, sorry, Mom and Dad, trust me, please trust me that you will become immensely enriched in ways far greater than material wealth. So in closing, let me say to the parents, to the family, and to the friends joining us today, no one walks across this stage alone. You have been the support system that has powered this achievement. So you have earned the right to proudly puff your chest in celebration of these truly extraordinary graduates. And finally, to the graduating class of 2015, on behalf of everyone with whom I share this stage, for every professor, every teacher, every mentor, and every guide that has helped you to this place, congratulations. We couldn't be more proud of you. And we can't wait to see what you'll do for the public's health, and we will continue to delight in the fact that we were a small part of your journey. It's my honor and my privilege to welcome you to a most splendid profession. Thank you.